Hello and welcome to Dungeoneered, a podcast dedicated to discussing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
Let's do this. All right, Josh. So for this week's Lukewarm Open, last night I was watching a horror movie. Do you like horror movies?
Nope.
Oh, my birds. Wait, what? You said no?
Yep, I said nope. I don't like horror movies.
We may have discussed this before, but are you serious?
Don't get me wrong. I can
How do you not
appreciate
like
horror
horror
movies. I just don't enjoy them. Like, I can appreciate the artistry and the skill of making one. It's just like if I'm going to spend that many hours watching something, I have enjoyed watching a horror movie. The movies I like to watch are anything that can provoke an emotion, and horror movies are really good about doing that.
Oh, yeah, that's like their whole business.
Yeah. And so anything that can provoke an emotion with me, even if everybody says, oh, this movie sucks, like it's horrible, if I'm like crying at the end of it, it's a good movie. Whatever it did, it invested me in the characters, or invested me in the story or whatever. And so that's what I look for in a movie.
From fear.
I've woke up screaming at night.
Fear.
From horror movies.
I think that's unrelated to a horror. Oh, from
no,
okay.
But that's the
I was
thing.
like, I'm pretty sure that might be unrelated from a horror movie. If you just wake
no,
up
it is.
screaming.
It's because of the horror movie. But the thing is, okay. I am one of those weirdos I will have woken up screaming the night before and literally like talk to somebody about it as I'm like after they calm me down from whatever screaming and what I was doing. I will not remember it the next day. I'll be like, no, I slept all the way through the night, didn't have any issues. And they're like, you woke up screaming. What are you talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch horror movies.
So I have some sort of nightmare about them, but I don't remember it the next day. So I don't know.
Your body just immediately is like, nope.
It's like, I'm not going to remember that.
Get that out of my mind.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no way. Well, I have been watching a bunch of horror movies recently, and I just finished watching Us. Have you heard of Us?
I have not.
Okay, well, it's a terrifying, probably one of my favorite movies of all time, actually, but it's terrifying. Has a great story, and the concept of the entire movie is just like bone-chillingly creepy. So what I was thinking today, while I was thinking about this movie, I was thinking about how would you run like a ghost who haunts the party? It can be silly, scary, any of the above, but like how would you run a ghost who like is haunting the party?
Okay, I would do it. I would have it infect.
Actually, first of all, would you ever do anything like this?
Possibly. In the world. So I just had okay. Here's some long exposition here. Last session in my campaign. So in Matt Colville's campaign, let's start there. In Matt Colville's campaign.
Wait.
Hold on.
Before you go on this tie ride.
Okay.
No, wait. I forgot to do an arm update.
Oh, arm update. Still hurts?
Arm update? Feels pretty good, actually.
Awesome.
I can move it, can straighten it. Feels good. Anyways, continue.
Okay. So, Matt Colville's campaign, the first episode, he had been hyping it up, and this has been a show that like Critical Role, people are like paying attention to, like, ooh, what are they playing and whatnot, and they release all this like character art and stuff, like these are our characters and whatnot, and kind of like tease them. So one of the players had been teased that they were going to be this class, and they were going to be this person, and there was all the art for them and whatnot, only for in the first session them to die. It was a planned death, and it was kind of to set the tone and set that life is cheap in this world. You will die.
Yikes.
I am currently playing in a post-apocalypse world. Like, that's the setting that the group... I gave them multiple choices of, like, which campaign they want to play, and they're like, that's the one. And so it's kind of this life is cheap world. Like, every day is a fight for survival. So I thought that would be fun for me as well to kind of do one of these planned character deaths. So I talked to one of the players. We set this up. He was going to play this kobold blood hunter that would die. And it was kind of setting up all these things. And then that was like months before we started the campaign. Stuff happened. And eventually I was like, hey, like, I do want him to die still to let that happen. But my original plan for his death, I didn't want to happen.
This is so complicated.
It is. It really is complicated. But so
I've never done a planned character death.
Session happened. He died.
How'd you kill him?
It was a sacrifice. He had these bombs that would work with his blood. It was kind of like a blood hunter thing, and he was able to break. this.
He blew himself up?
Yeah, he broke this. It was a room that kind of was over lava and had these cracks in it, and he drew a bunch of the enemies to him, exploded it so that there would be less enemies and the party could win.
Gosh, he literally turned himself into a blood bomb, is what you're telling me.
Kinda. But so he did this, saved them, and they grabbed his body and was able to at least keep it with them throughout the rest of the dungeon when they eventually found his real character. And so,
how did that go over before you even continue? How did that go over? Was that good?
Some people were super into it, other people were not. It really depends on the group. Yeah, and then once like after the session, we were like, "Hey guys, that was a planned character death. We want you to know, like, we kind of talk it out because I don't want anybody going home being like that sucked or we failed because it wasn't a you fail. It was a impossible to win scenario where one person realized the only way to win is death.
It's to turn himself into a living bomb.
Well, no, he had an actual bomb. It was a bomb that uses blood, like the blood hunter's abilities to kind of use their blood to enhance things. And so it kind of worked.
The bomb.
Yeah.
With his blood. Got it.
And
I was like, did he like throw a bomb made of blood? Like a blood bag? Like, did he?
But so, all in all, he does this. And the body they keep the body throughout the rest of the dungeon. They finish it out. And they just brought the body back to the city. Oh, no, sorry. In the dungeon, they find a jar. They find this jar. This jar, they lift it up, and it kind of has this sloshing sound to it. There's some sort of liquid inside.
So gross.
They uncork it, and look inside. It's this ancient wine.
And sure it is.
It is, but what was on top of that ancient wine was this kind of white smoke, and the white smoke flies out past them, and dives in pretty much dives into the dead body's lungs, pretty much.
I was hoping you were gonna find him in the wine barrel or something.
Turns out it was a spirit that has taken him over. So now they're gonna have to learn to they're like, what is this? Who is this? How do we deal with this? Is it friendly? Is it an enemy? And so they were just able to wake it up and have a short conversation with it yesterday. They're still kind of thinking, like, what do we do with this? It's not our friend. And even our friend, like, they had only known him for one session. Like, they were doing a mission with him. They were all what's called reclaimers. So he was just another soldier to them. And they're like, what do we do? Do we pursue this? Do we not? And so while they're thinking about that, they're going to go on a mission. So I have done possession.
So then, like, in this situation, how would you turn that into something that like haunts the party? Would you do like a
I wouldn't do that as haunting the party. But for haunting the party, what I would do is I would have them mess with...
Hey, that sounds like a good horror... Haunting the party sounds like a good horror D&D show name.
Haunting the party. I would have them possess the people they're going to talk to.
Wait, what do you mean?
So NPCs that they meet, like maybe they go and talk to this NPC once and they're just normal. They're just who that NPC is. Next time I talk to them, they're this weird, they talk in weird ways, they act in weird ways. Different. And they begin to see a bunch of NPCs that they talk to are acting like this. And they're like, why is that? And they'll think of many different ideas that they're like, oh, maybe it's this weird mass possession or this all like weird things. But it's literally just one thing following them. And maybe then like, you have a beggar in a town, like a young like street urchin, steal money from them and run away. And that there's like a glint in their eye that they recognize. And like they'll start seeing all these people doing weird things to them. Or maybe even full on going out and framing them. And they're like, why does this keep happening to us? Nobody hates us in this world, in this town we're in or whatever. And I would make it be like some sort of like mini boss that they'd faced earlier that hates them because they killed them. And it's like trying to get its revenge on them.
So you're telling me you wouldn't do like a Obi-Wan Force ghost?
No.
Anakin, you must use the Force. You wouldn't do that?
Nope.
What about like a silly ghost, like a prankster ghost? Would you ever do something like that?
Like a Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Well, no. Like I don't know. Like the party wakes up from long rest and, you know, their shoes are all untied, or like, well, I mean, that wouldn't make sense. You don't sleep in your boots. I mean, I guess you would.
Depends where you're at.
But something like that. Or like your pants fall down as you're walking.
It depends. It
I
really
guess you'd have to
depends
have a
on the
specific
campaign
party.
and the people I'm playing with. If we're playing silly, then maybe. But if we're playing
I
serious,
think it has a really good.
I mean, I might.
I think it has a really good spot in a serious.
If you want
campaign.
it to be a child's ghost, the child was horribly murdered by some sort of like
Gosh,
Strahd
you
or some
just
sort
went
of vampires.
So,
It's like,
just straight into the Grand Canyon with that one.
but the
That was
kid,
just
but the kid is still a
straight off
child.
Moore Avenue.
So this kid was like killed in this horrified, unholy way, and so they can't go pass on. So they're just this ghost, and so they're just a child ghost just playing around, and so they will do things like tie your shoelaces together.
That's kind of creepy, though. Let's
Well,
be
no,
honest.
so that's the thing. That's
That'd
the
be
thing.
super kinda
That's why
creepy.
if this was a serious campaign, you could play it as silly and funny, like that's what the kid thinks. But then to the party, like they're being messed with by something, and they're just
How
all
would you
like,
how would you incorporate that in like a story? Like, would you?
well, I would
have the
do it
party-
like they did in Strahd, where they have like Death House, where it's these kids that are like, help us, like. And so the kid, after pranking them for a while, maybe they get near its house and they're like, help, help, you must go inside. There's a monster in there. And then they try to like
no.
get the party to go inside, and then they get locked in, and it's a horror house.
Oh gosh, that would be terrible. Mm-hmm. Huh? Halloween one shot.
Yep.
I love Halloween one shots.
Well, our topic actually relates to this, to
Oh, does it?
horror and possession and
Yes.
Yes,
I'm so
it
good.
kinda
It's like I
works.
planned this.
it's almost like we planned this. Now,
We didn't though. for
we
those-
did not at all.
We didn't.
I just think it's kind of funny that it worked out that way. But so I've got a longer intro this week because I came to this topic in an interesting way. Late yesterday, I
You were
started
watching
over.
a horror movie.
No, late yesterday I started over. Like at 10 o'clock at night, I completely started over on what topic I was going to do for this week.
Ugh, rough.
Because I was inspired by someone who has actually weirdly inspired me multiple times throughout my life. It's the host of Mythbusters, Adam Savage.
Hey.
First, he inspired me as a child to build things and create. Then he inspired me
Rest
with
in
his...
peace, Grant.
What?
Rest in peace, Grant.
Yeah, Grant Imahara. Yeah, I was really sad when I found out about
Rest
that.
in peace. Rest in peace. Anyways,
Yes.
continue.
But then he inspired me again with his YouTube channel, Tested, to craft, which led to my terrain crafting, which I love to do now. But
Wait. Did you say Adam Savage has a YouTube channel?
Yes, it's called Tested. It's pretty much just,
What?
It's
No.
he's just doing
does?
stuff that he loves to do. So he like crafts cosplays and does all these other things. But
Well, shoot. I need to look at this.
Yeah.
Tested.
it's
Not
literally
texted,
called on YouTube. It's
tested.
literally called Adam Savage's Tested. But so I stopped
cool.
watching for a while, like a long
He
while.
still looks like a mad scientist.
He does, and he's great. But so last night I was recommended, after a long hiatus, some of his newer Tested videos. They were about a month old now. I'd watched some of them where he was answering questions from his Patreon about Mythbusters. He was talking about his episode on a lead balloon, and he wanted to talk about something he hadn't talked about before. Like, he talked about a lot of different things about getting the material and how hard it was to work with and all these things. And he's like, okay, I want to find something that I haven't talked about before to tell you. And he ended it with a kind of what he learned and how it changed the show afterwards. And he said he explained Mythbusters was designed with a 2 myths an episode design. The myth A is the main eye-catching major myth, and it is about 25 minutes long about. And myth B is a smaller, about 15-minute long. And Lead Balloon was supposed to be one of these myth Bs, these smaller 15-minute ones.
Uh-oh.
But it took so much time and effort that when it was edited to like 50 minutes long. They had to cut it down, and they're like, oh, we don't think it's going to be able to be cut down into 15 minutes, where it's probably going to have to be a myth A, which they didn't think it was that. They didn't think it was that interesting, so they're like, we don't know if this is going to do well. But as a myth A, they found that because Adam and Jamie were so into the myth and so like excited about it, that it scored incredibly well, almost as good as a major one of the myths.
Do you remember like what the myth was? Like,
Yeah, it was
Can a
that you
lead
can't
balloon
make a
float or
lead
something?
balloon fly.
okay.
Yeah, it was
Was that
loosely
based
based
off
off
like
the how Led Zeppelin got their name.
Yeah, okay.
because they were told that their
funny.
band idea sucked and it was gonna fall like a lead balloon, and so they
Yeah.
changed their name to Led Zeppelin, or supposedly the
I was
myth
gonna
goes.
say, was that like off of that saying, like fall like a lead balloon, or
Yeah,
but Led
Now-
Zeppelin and slash that saying?
yeah. But so it rated incredibly well, and the act of them enjoying it made the supposedly less interesting myth score just as well as the interesting myths, if not better. Now, because of this, Adam said they began to look to entertain more of these weird myths that they wanted to test because they were interested and it was more entertaining. So I scrapped what I had planned yesterday and sought something I was interested in. So this week we're going to talk about Wendigos.
Wendigos. I don't even know what those are.
Wendigos are Algonquian folklore.
A what?
Algonquian, I think it's a Native American tribe,
Oh, cool.
and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Wendigo, loosely translated, means the evil spirit that devours mankind.
Have you talked to me about these before? I think you have.
I think I have, because I'm about to throw them at my party.
Oh, yes, you did talk to me a little bit
Yes.
about this. Anyways, continue.
And it has taken on many different forms, like many creatures from folklore do, but I'll describe the most common form now. Specifically, I will use the description by Basil Johnston, great name by the way, a scholar from Ontario, Canada. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tautly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against its skin. Its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloodied. Its body was unclean and suffering from suppurations of the flesh, giving off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. Now, they're normally depicted with glowing eyes and these yellowed fangs. Now, Wendigos are created when someone resorts to cannibalism or succumbs to greed, gluttony, or just excess. They might be possessed by the spirit of a Wendigo. Now, the
Your
main
dog is possessed by the spirit of a Wendigo right now. She is out.
I set up a puppy cam for Erin.
Oh, man.
She's really cute. Now, the main time people resorted to cannibalism is when they are starving in the north with no idea if they'll survive. So the Wendigo has become associated with the north, winter, coldness, and famine. Now, Wendigos are known for a few skills that they have. You know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
Yep, of course.
I'm just kidding.
Gotta computer hack those Native American tribes.
I'm just kidding, though, because that was clearly a quote from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, well, yeah, still gotta...
The Wendigo's skills
watched
are
that movie in
mainly
so
in
long.
stealth and hunting. They are said to be the perfect hunter, knowing the smallest details about the lands that they roam. But as if that wasn't enough, they also have powerful dark magic abilities. They can use these dark magics to control the weather. Now, Wendigos are considered cursed wanderers, forced to roam the land seeking to be gruntled from their hunger. Now, I use the term gruntled because it's not a word, but I really want it to be.
So, it's
the opposite of disgruntled.
gruntled.
So disgruntled is like you're unhappy.
Right.
Gruntled would definitely mean you're happy or you're sated.
It definitely does not sound like you're happy,
It
though.
really doesn't, and I love it. I
I'm
love it as a
gruntled.
word, and I want it to be used more.
There's no.
No.
Well,
Yeah?
I was gonna say, I mean, it would be kind of entertaining if it was a word, though, because it doesn't sound like it would be what it means.
Yeah, it doesn't sound at all like it should be, but I love it. Now, there is a real disorder that Wendigo lends its name to. It's called Wendigo psychosis, and was very common during colonial times and before. It is a condition that not only makes those around you seem edible, but also makes your brain physically disgusted and scared by the idea of becoming a cannibal. Or, for those who know the story of the Wendigo, they fear becoming one themselves.
What the heck?
Yeah, your
That's so
brain
messed
literally
up.
creates this paradox for you, which is devastating for a brain, especially if you are starving and eventually end up eating flesh. Because your
That's
brain is
terrible.
so disgusted by it and wanting it at the same time, it really messes people up. Now,
That's so terrible.
it is,
Holy
it's
cow.
horrible. Now,
And they attributed it to these Wendigos because why?
well, no, it was just the name for it because it's
Ah,
people believe that's honestly it's more likely that Wendigo psychosis was the thing that created the idea of Wendigos
got it.
because there are people in Native American tribes that would develop this Wendigo psychosis, and then people would deal with them and kill them because they were eating human flesh and they were killing their allies and whatnot. And so,
Yikes.
yeah, it was horrible. Now, traditionally, if someone showed signs of this, they would try to heal them with traditional native healers. But if this didn't work and the person became antisocial or violent, they would be executed. Now, this is an excerpt from a 1661 Jesuit relations document.
Gosh.
What
That can't be great.
What caused us great concern was the intelligence that met us upon entering the lake.
Did you just start reading it with like a
I did
German
start doing it with a weird accent. I don't know
Having a
why.
British accent?
Namely, that the men who
You're trying to be like a researcher?
namely that the men
Like, wait.
deputed by our conductor for the purpose of summoning the nations of the North Sea and assigning them a rendezvous where they were to await our coming, had met their death the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us, but not very unusual among the people we were seeking. They are afflicted with neither lunacy, hypochondria, or frenzy, but have a combination of all of these species of diseases, which affects their imagination and causes them a more than canine hunger. This makes them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men, like veritable werewolves, and devour them ferociously, without being
so
able
messed
to
up.
appease or glut their appetite, ever seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily the more they eat. This ailment attacked our deputies, and as death is the sole remedy among these simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their
Yikes.
madness.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Now, one of
also
the worst cases I
be
heard of. What was that?
I said, and it would also be a perfect scapegoat to murder a bunch of people if you wanted.
No, you get murdered too.
Yeah, but you could be like, these people are eating each other and cannibals. We kill them now.
Oh, yeah, that's a dark way of putting it. But yes, that
Yeah,
could.
I mean, you could
yes.
definitely do that.
Now, one of the worst cases I heard was from 1978 to 79. A Plains Cree trapper named Swift Runner, he has a wife and 6 kids, was working with the Hudson Bay Company. During a
Aw, did he eat
particularly
'em?
hard winter, Swift Runner and his family began to starve, and his eldest son ended up dying first. And soon after, Swift Runner began to experience
'em, mash 'em,
Wendigo
stick 'em in a
psychosis.
stew.
He knew about emergency rations, which were about 25 miles away at a Hudson Bay outpost, but he didn't go towards it. He ended
For
up
some
killing and
reason.
consuming the rest of his family. Eventually, he confessed and was executed.
For some reason, I'm just like picturing this as like a dumb anime where like somebody like transforms into a cake as they're like walking. And you're like watching them. You're like cake. I don't know why.
I can only think of the beginning of Demon Slayer. I haven't watched it fully yet, but it's
I've never seen Demon Slayer.
the family gets brutally murdered early on.
There is a movie and a show, right, where people are like, he looks at something and it looks like a steak, and then he has to like, like a carnivore is like trying not to be a carnivore. Is it Ice Age? No, it's not. Is it? No, it's not Ice Age.
Was it Zootopia?
Anyways, yes, where he like looks and he sees them as like steaks, and he's like,
I don't remember. But I think that's
I think
what
it's
it was.
Zootopia.
So all of this is to say that Wendigos, whether you believe in them or not, they have had a physical effect on our world. And many say that they still roam the forest of Minnesota and Canada, still starving, just waiting for you to let your guard down.
Well, I guess that's what we got to go. The next search for Bigfoot is search for the Wendigo.
Search for the Wendigo.
Hey, that
Now,
might be a good TV show too. Like going around looking for mythical monsters. I guess they already have one.
I'm sure there's a million. There's about a million of
There's
those.
gotta be. There's gotta be. It's a good idea.
Now, that's what I have for this week's episode. So I was thinking we could create a dangerous, like, folklore mythical creature, our own Wendigo. And I'm thinking it's been since the time of kings, which is when the 9 kingdoms ruled.
So
this is something that's stalked the land for thousands of years.
Since the 9 kingdoms?
Yep.
Okay, I'm down with this. Do you have any idea where you want to start?
Nope.
Classic? Classic. All right. Well, I guess we have to make up this folklore then. So what does this thing do? What does this creature do? What does it look like? What do we want it to do we want it to like eat kids? Like kids story?
Okay, I was thinking kids too, but I think that yeah.
That's done so much though.
Yes.
Don't go out at night, otherwise
so that's the thing. I think it doesn't matter what it is, whatever folklore it is. I think at some point it's used to quotation marks discipline children. Just to be like, hey, like, don't go outside. You could like get in bed on time, or the Wendigo.
The best part about this folklore is it's going to be real, and it's going to be the first arc the party goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be something the party has to face.
Yep.
So I don't know why, but I'm thinking we call it a chupacabra, and I think it's a goat sucker, and I think it eats goats. I don't know.
No.
Is this just me? I don't think it's ever been done before. I think this is a new idea.
Yeah, no. I think it is actually. And actually, now that you say El Chupacabra, I'm pretty sure I've seen an episode of some show on like Discovery or something
where a
guy goes and he tries to find one. Yeah, and he like talks to a bunch of natives and like their myths and things about him. Pretty sure I've seen a show that's like that, and I'm pretty sure he does it with a bunch of different mythical beings. But anyways, okay, I kind of though do like a little bit of similarity where I like the idea of it like leaves dead livestock around, like gutted livestock. That's always creepy, you know, like a gutted cow in the field. That's kind of creepy, but it leaves its innards and its remains, unlike wild animals.
I think it leaves their heads. Ooh, okay, no. I think it has quills, like some sort of like spikes on its back that it literally can remove, like a porcupine's quills, and it literally leaves the head of the animal on one of these quills.
See, okay,
and it does it to like border its territory to be like, this is where I roam.
Okay. I guess before we continue this, then we have to discuss something incredibly important.
Okay,
is this more of a beast or more of like an intelligent being, like a thinking, like a hag, or like a?
I think it's mid-range. I think it's more like more intelligent than an animal, but dumber than a person.
So capable of like schemes and I guess like purposely frightening people. Would that be a thing it does?
Yes, but it doesn't do it like for like some long down the road benefit. It does that to kind of like mark its territory, to be like, be scared of me, I rule this land, almost a domination thing.
So like a troll, maybe?
Like a troll's level intelligence?
Trolls are really dumb though. I don't know, but trolls are pretty dumb, right?
Yeah, trolls are dumb. Look it up.
How smart are trolls? Because I know they live in like witch cottages and stuff. Or is that just like a folk thing that I'm thinking of instead? I
don't know about them living in cottages or anything like that, but trolls' intelligence are 9. I'm thinking
they're smart.
Yeah, I'm thinking more, probably like a little bit, probably more than an ogre.
Like unable to read type smart, or?
Sorry, what was that?
Like unable to read type smart, or what?
Yes, unable to read for sure. Like a 5. Ogres are 5 intelligence.
Okay.
I think they can be anywhere from 5 to 9.
So then, when we're making this, that type of like sticking the head on a quill isn't necessarily unimaginable, because like I'd have a hard time seeing like a beast that just like consumes flesh, to leave heads on a quill.
Yeah.
But do we want it to be a quill, or do we want it to be like something it makes, like it can create simple tools or something?
Okay, I kind of liked it being a body part, but what are you thinking? Oh, can it literally be its bones? Like it has like a regeneration, like a troll, and it just like pulls out a bone.
So where I originally was thinking is Naruto, you know, the guy who like
Bones.
spoilers.
Bone Man.
Yeah, who like
Yep.
yeah. I
That's
mean
where
not that's I don't I'm not saying that's what he looks like, but he can do that type of thing where like he or even like he takes this victim's bones and this could be part of the lore.
he
Like he
makes
takes
like
his
a little
victim's bones and he
thing.
impales them. Yeah, like and he impales them on their own bones. I like that too because that's super creepy.
Okay, I kind of like it to be like kind of like he sets up like some sort of like I don't know, maybe these things are smart enough to have some sort of like I don't even know if it's like a religion, but like some sort of belief system, and they want
if
to
we
set
do?
up like a little like shrine or something with the bones of their killed, or maybe it's just like a thing they've always done.
Okay, so couple things. First and foremost,
Okay.
I'm promising to anybody listening that when I make a topic, eventually, when I get to do a research topic, it's gonna be happy. Because we
You're not happy with my Wendigos?
no, I love this stuff, but I mean, I need to make like a beautiful, you know, I claim the Shire, okay? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna research
Do
the
it on the
Shire, and we're
Shire.
gonna make a happy, beautiful farm place that's haunted by Wendigos. But anyways, that's how it's gonna turn up. But it's like, oh, it's a happy community that's actually tormented by horrible living undead beings that chase and kill and maim people. But anyways, what I'm thinking is what if it does something like, okay, we're going back to the horror movie type thing. What if it like when it kills its victims by surprise and like terror, and it like frames their like facial structure, like it frames their head or
gosh.
face with how it originally like was scared, how it originally like attacked them and scared them. So, like,
Okay,
it
do you think it has like
remembers-
limited petrification powers? Like it's just the first dermis,
like
the
the
first
idea-
layer of skin?
See, no, I like the idea of it like it remembers how it first like scared is so lame, but scared somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like it first attacked them and it remembers that look. And then it like tries to replicate it with the facial features. So it like carves and cuts and tries to
Okay,
adjust
okay,
the
hold
face.
on. Okay, now
So messed
hold on. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. Here we go. So I'm thinking it doesn't understand. So I think its face is almost like locked in a like changing facial features for them is super like it takes a long time. It has a lot of work. So I think the first face it sees on you, it never wants that to go away. It sees that as like maybe something in like their whatever their biology is that means something bad, whether it's like I hate you, I'm about to attack you, or it just means something. So they don't want you to change your face. So because of that, when you do, you scream and then your face changes for whatever reason, they attack. So they want to bring your
they,
face
like-
back to what the first face they saw on you was.
That's so messed up.
Maybe it's like a rejection of them. Maybe it's like a like maybe they just want
All they want
friends.
is
Maybe
to
it's like
be
a
loved.
sadness, a
Yeah,
sad
no.
thing, where they just want
That's funny,
friends,
though.
and changing your face means like I don't like you. I put a lot of effort into hating you.
Okay. Okay, this is where I'm going with this idea.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I kind of like the idea of having something almost like subtle warnings that something is watching you. So like what if there's like signs of like simple wooden carvings of like your different facial features that you find, like, you know, one in your barn or something, or like even like a crude like scrape like painting in like on a rock or something that you find of like, you know, smashed berries or something of it trying to draw and paint your face. And then maybe what I'm thinking is kind of along the lines where you're going is it's unhappy with all of the faces that it's been drawing and painting. And so it goes to like get the best, like, I guess it like feeds off of your fear, which is be like a Pennywise thing, but like, so it goes to like essentially kill you and it remembers that final face and then it forms your face into the perfect face that it thinks after it kills you.
So it has like one face. It likes everybody faced. So it's like, let me tell you how I got these scars.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like-
not necessarily. It's just like it thrives off of the, and then you could, I mean, it thrives off of like the fear, the terror look in a person's face, and then you could even like adapt that into children's tales and things of like, you know, the fear creature will come and try and, you know, terrorize you or whatever. But yeah, it eventually like kills you, and then frames your face into the way that it remembers your most terrified moment before death. That's so messed up. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty
But
bad.
yeah, you're milking the cows like a peasant is milking his cows out in the barn, and then like on his like pail, his wooden pail is like a carved face. He's like, huh, that's weird. Maybe one of the kids carved a face on my milk bucket. Huh, that's weird. Next day, he goes to like open his door, and there's like a carving on the doorpost, and he's like, huh, kids, like kids must be getting into art.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes to his like leather rack where he's tanning like a deer hide, and it like burned onto the deer hide is like a imprint of a face. It's like, okay, this is getting weird. This is getting weirder. Like that type of thing. And then he goes out hunting one night or something and
Never
gets
returns.
killed. Yeah, never returns. And then
His head
they
is
send out a search
found.
party, and they found his head, yeah, like framed in this like terrified, horrible expression. His like eyes kept
maybe it
open by
frames
like
it in its
bones and
bones.
piercings.
In the bones of the creature.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And he like, his like it tries its best because it's not like intelligence or doesn't know much, but it tries its best to like form this face. And so it's always unsatisfied with its work, so then it finds a new victim afterwards.
Yeah. That's good.
That's
Horrifying.
so messed up though. That's terrible.
So, okay.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know. Yeah.
I love it so much though.
What? So okay.
Good.
So we're here. What did this creature? First off, who created this creature, or what created this creature?
I mean, my
Is it
initial instinct
nature?
is to say like a king, but I don't know if we want to do that.
I mean, that's
Like
okay.
maybe like when the wizard was first creating his constructs, he like messed up and created this like weird being, and now it continues.
And he
to
forever
roam.
went away from flesh beings and went to
Yep,
constructs
and
after
then
this.
switched to yeah.
It's the first failed creation.
Yeah, like he first tried with like flesh, human flesh.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
good. I like that.
He ended up distorting and destroying this thing, and then it forever haunted the Nine Kingdoms.
And now
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's actually really good.
Yeah, that's good.
And so that's why he switched to like construct beings, because he never wanted to
Okay.
create something like that ever again.
Yeah, and so what did it do during the Nine Kingdoms
Okay, well here's
era?
the next question then. Okay, before we even dive there,
Okay.
does it like reproduce? Like how does I mean
Okay, do you okay.
it has to.
No, it could
right?
it could just be one of those ones that lives for
Just
a
one
long
or
time.
10 or
Could be like a Yoda where it lives like there's one every generation. Maybe its generations are long, but there's still only one.
okay, there's another part of me that what if we went along the ghost lines and the person's spirit haunts somebody, so after this creature it just continues generation after generation, so after you kill it like haunts a new body.
Yeah, because like the Wendigo, what it does is it literally changes your body to look like a Wendigo when it possesses you.
Right, so what I'm thinking is like maybe it's one of its last kills or whatever. It essentially like haunts and changes you into its creature before it dies, and that's how it stayed around for forever. And maybe the wizard has made like 10 or something, like he made a bunch before he switch to constructs.
Like a baker's dozen.
Yeah, like he made a batch. He just made like a. Gosh, but yeah, and so that these creatures like are the soul, like essentially are the haunted dead souls of the torment they went through from the Wizard King. Not necessarily intentional on his part, but that's what happened, and now they kind of like go
Oh, my
seeking.
little girl's got hiccups.
Yeah. Aww.
Sorry.
Aww.
Her body started convulsing with a little bit of hiccups, and I'm like, oh.
Her feet are kind of running like she's having a dream. She's chasing rabbits.
Sorry, guys.
Oh
I know
yeah,
you
she's
can't see
chasing rabbits for sure.
Well, okay, so this creature, what did he do during the Nine Kingdoms? The 13 of them.
Okay, 13. Okay, 13
'Cause he said
is
baker's
canon.
dozen.
13. Yep, 13 baker's dozen. Okay. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm assuming it haunted these kingdoms, right?
Yeah, it definitely did, but I'm like, I'm looking for details.
The juicy deets. I don't know. What are you thinking? Like, I mean, do we do the stereotypical like haunted a village type thing? Do we do?
I think, okay, so I just watched the first few episodes of the newest season of Attack on Titan. And spoilers, it's very minimal. It's literally the first episode. They do a like suicide drop of Titans on a city.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah. But so maybe this king, like realizing he has like these are failures, but realizing that they're very powerful, says, "Let's just drop some on our enemy."
That's so messed up.
So what I'm thinking is that he drops them on specifically the Dragon King, because he can't get to him otherwise, because he's like the one that like hid up in the mountains until he was ready to come down.
Wait. Oh my gosh. Okay. This might be a little bit of a stretch, but what if the reason the Turtle King is cowardly and cowardice is because he's afraid of one of these creatures? Because maybe something happened with him and one of these creatures,
and it killed his family.
I mean,
or maybe he was infested. Maybe he has the psychosis, like the Wendigo psychosis.
Oh yeah,
and he's gonna turn into one eventually when he dies.
Yes.
Like his body's gonna turn into one.
Oh,
and he knows
that's why it's the first arc, because they have to find him. Oh my gosh. The first arc,
and when he gets reincarnated in the current one, he becomes this Wendigo. That's what happened. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this. It's all coming together.
Oh gosh.
Now we know why he was a
Which
turtle.
one are they gonna? They're never gonna save any of them.
Well, no. So what I want it to be, I mean, there should be a way for them to like try to like. I think whatever the Turtle King's like the act that he has to do, maybe it is like.
I mean, the only thing they have to all they have to do is bring a subject and have him send the spirit out into the other person and then kill it. I mean, that makes sense, right? So they have to choose between sacrificing another human or another humanoid or killing the king and rescuing the king. Another horrible world.
Yeah, some sort of okay, maybe they have to like cast something like protection from evil and good, where it like literally gives like it makes the person not be able to be possessed. And so when they do that, the spirit will come out and will infest someone else.
Right. Yeah.
And so they have to
something along those lines.
Yeah. And so they have to either like be prepared to sacrifice that someone else,
or
try to beat this very powerful being.
This would be fun, but you have to be really careful on the party that you're running. But it could be fun to have like a sheet. I don't think I'd ever do this unless the group that I was in was really okay with this type of thing, and we've practiced this kind of stuff or talked about this kind of stuff. But it'd be really fun to like, it possesses like a character, and so like you hand him the monster sheet and you're like, you're playing this monster now, like you've literally turned into this, and then they hand that sheet around every time it goes to possess someone.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. But I don't think that's for the majority of parties, so you have to be careful with that. A lot of people would really hate that.
Yeah,
it's like, here's the monster stat block, you're playing it, you know.
So we have the king, who is the Turtle King. We have his story, his thing going on.
We could also go even further and say that he has been like creating, like not creating more, but like infecting more people in his domain too, which is why they're all kind of like, which is why there's more than 13, unless we just wanted to stick with 13. Like maybe the wizard created one, hated it, cast it away. Like, okay, well here's the question though. So the only problem that I'm having with this right now is if the Wizard King turned the Turtle King into one of these in some sort of horrible human experiment, was this during the war, after the war, before the war?
No, okay. I think what happened was he released these Wendigos on his enemies.
Them in his kingdom.
What? Yeah, he released them in just all like he released like two in each or something like that. He like released a few in a few places. One of them not only infected someone in this nation, they infected the king.
Yeah, okay. Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah. So it wasn't like this person intentionally was like stole the king and did this to him. It was just he was hunting. It was bad luck.
Do we have the Turtle King still alive? Like he's been alive this whole time, essentially?
So did you? Okay, no. I think he had to die, and I think the trigger for Wendigo like becoming like whatever this creature is death. So when you die, this happens.
Right, but like his body has lived on since he was killed by the Construct King?
Yes.
Oh, and that's why the Wizard King would kill him too. He knew, because we have the Wizard King killing him.
Yeah, he knew, and he didn't want the Wendigos
too. So he wanted to kill him as fast as he could.
Yeah, because he knew he was already corrupted.
Wait, so the Wizard? No, yeah. Well, he. Well, no, because that would be before that. Then that he got corrupted, though. So the Wizard King killed him. Then he would have turned into
Well, then he
one
would
of
have turned
these
into a Wendigo.
creatures.
So I think he wanted him to become a Wendigo. He knew he had the infection, and he knew he had to die to make the transformation complete.
Yeah, so he killed him.
Yep.
Jeez, that's so messed up.
Yep. Well, we thought this Wizard King was gonna be nice. Gonna be a good king.
I always thought him in more of like a neutral figure.
Yeah, a neutral, but now he's like this clearly evil dude. That's more what I'm going for.
Now he's a bad dude. Yeah, he's super bad.
Yep.
And so now the wizard kid, the Turtle King, has pretty much been haunting around ever since he was killed in the Nine Kingdoms War or whatever we have it as.
The Nine Kingdoms War. I called it the Age of Kings earlier. I don't know if that was gonna stick, but that was my idea for it.
Age of Kings. Doesn't that sounds like something, a book or something I've read? The Age of Kings.
Oh, I'm sure the Age of Kings has been used about 1 million times by now. As are most of the things we're gonna throw.
In Brandon Sanderson's book, I think the.
Okay, well, I've never in my whole life read a Brandon Sanderson book, so I did not steal it.
Yeah, well, I think it's the Way of Kings though. So.
Yeah.
Is the holy book in his series. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I like that. And now I'm thinking, so he's one of the kings that's still alive, that still has like essentially resurrected, along with the Lich King. So the Lich King's doing his own thing, and the Turtle King is a Wendigo, essentially.
Yep.
And then I guess that's a perfect first arc, though, isn't it? I mean, you can make that like a CR3 monster.
But
right?
They would face this creature, and you gotta somehow give them some sort of knowledge of like, you could save this person. If they save them, then they will have befriended a king early on, not knowing he was a king.
Yeah.
And we got that out of the way as well.
Which that would be super interesting.
Yes.
And then you could have it like later down the line, like this person that they didn't know was a king that they saved.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the question. Okay, if you save, so how do you save one of these creatures? I guess we should get that. How do you save one besides?
Well, so that's what I was saying.
If you kill it, spirit moves on to somebody else.
So what you do is so you have to. No, I think killing it kills the creature. I think killing the host
kills the spirit.
Yeah, killing the host kills the spirit. So what they have to decide to do is they have to, to save the king, they have to first transfer the spirit and then kill the person it goes into. So there's a first level spell called Protection from Evil and Good, which prevents and removes possession. And I think it wouldn't be hard to somehow give them a spell scroll or whatever is required for them to have that spell. It's not going to be hard for them to get, and they'll have to use it and then kill whoever it goes into.
Got it. So the only way to get rid of these creatures is to kill them.
Kill the host. Yep.
And so they essentially have to sacrifice somebody else.
Yes.
So then here's the question. Would you, if this was a first arc, would you want to relay that this is a turtle king or this is a king?
No. At first you don't. You just give them the opportunity to save this person. And if they save them,
yeah, my only concern is that they just kill him outright. Like they just kill him instantly, and then there wasn't even like a choice or a thought.
That's why I said it has to be built in you can save this person. Maybe some sort of tales of like the host is like, people know that the host is like super old and might have stories and things of the past.
Yeah, I think you would have to, because at least in parties that I've previously run before, I feel like a lot of people would get like upset that you like they were never even remotely informed that this was a potential like game changing decision that they were making.
Well, yeah, but you don't want it to be. You don't want them to know that. That's part of the thing, is not knowing that it's a game changing decision.
Yeah, it's just having it be related that closely to the end game without.
Yeah, that's why you have to let it know, and like this person has knowledge of a lot.
Yeah, you'd have to make this person a somewhat like important figure, or like has knowledge, like you were saying.
Make him like the mayor of the town, or some sort of like, I don't know, that's hard to do with because he was supposed to be a Wendigo the moment he was reincarnated. Maybe you meet like their ancestor, and they're like, I don't know who they are exactly, but they're someone from my family. Like the story of our lost relative has been in my family for generations. I believe that's him.
Yeah, you could definitely do something like that.
Like someone is begging them to save them.
They wouldn't know who this person's like family lineage family lineages.
I don't think the
then?
person knows they're related to a king, because I think the kings, after the kingdoms fell, I think they were kind of shunned. Like, how could you go to war over something so stupid? Like, the people are like, oh, we hate what you did.
I mean, yeah, they all died.
It was
so it's
selfish.
Not really...
And how many innocent lives were lost just because they wanted to be a god? And when it is finally revealed that it was no one was ever going to get it, like, they're mad at their past leaders.
Well, yeah, and they'd probably be pretty furious about it.
Mm-hmm. So being a member of a king's lineage is not a good thing.
So yeah, we would have like the family lineage be knowledge that the party can obtain.
No, I think the person who's asking them to save this person doesn't know they're a king's relative. Or maybe we make it that it is, and that they have they don't know who their relative is that is this Wendigo creature, but they know they're old, and they might know the king, or might be like, and so there is a possibility of like intriguing them with lore.
Yeah, I mean there just has to be a reason to save this person and not just kill him outright.
But yeah, that's why somebody asking them to save them.
A good compelling reason.
I think someone's asking you to save them. It doesn't matter who they are. Like, if a party is a good party, they might be like, we'll try to do it. And then finding out that the only way to do it is this.
But if the party's a good party, they have to literally sacrifice another
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to now. And
like,
so having this good party,
But like, to me, even like if you were a good person, you wouldn't do this because you would sacrifice somebody without their like consent, essentially. Unless somebody was willing to do so.
That's what I was going to say. You'd have to talk to, like, they would talk to someone and be like, hey, would you want to do this? Would you be willing to do this?
And everyone would say no.
I mean, you never know.
I mean, the only way I could see this working if I was a player is, like, finding, like, a terrible human being, like a murderer or something, and then you
and by this point, you said it would be level 3, so they'd have some adventures under their belt already.
Have like the butcher of the streets that they arrest and kill, and then
so they can
use him
if they want to. Yeah.
Gosh, like he doesn't have a capital punishment, and maybe the person, like, okay, what if you did? Okay, so here's an idea: the person who wants this person saved is the mayor of a town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his lineage stretches back. He doesn't know how long, but it's been in rulership forever, which is why he's like a proud mayor. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's been this way for a long time, so he's a proud mayor. He originally, like at level 1 and 2 or whatever, level 1 to maybe even level 3 if you wanted, he has like the party track down this like murderer or whatever who has been killing people in the town or, you know, doing bad stuff. They are told to arrest him and bring him to custody so that they can put him on a trial. When they do so, he then reveals that the reason he wants this person, he has a unique.
He wants to sacrifice them to save.
Yes. So he has a unique justice.
That's an interesting moral conundrum for the party. I like that.
Yeah. But then it's not like, oh, we have to go sacrifice Tommy from the town next door. You know, like. It's still a moral conundrum because you're like, well, I mean, this guy is literally horrible. Like, you make him bad. Like, you make the murderer guy, like, objectively very bad. Like, he's done some very bad stuff, you know, and they had to chase him for a long time. And then once they arrest him, the mayor brings them aside again. He's like, so I actually have this idea for his punishment and a way to save someone in my family.
Yeah.
And then the party can decide yes or no on that.
Yep. I like this. I like this a lot.
If they choose no, does the mayor even let them kill this haunting spirit?
I think they're
Wendigo? Probably not, right?
Told not to, but I think they also would understand that this thing is literally killing people, and it would be up to them whether they think, oh, screw that, we're going to do it anyways, or not.
Here's the next question. If the party just arrests the guy and refuses to do this, does the mayor pull it off anyways? So if the party just leaves, so say they like collect their money from arresting him, sorry mayor, we're not going to sacrifice this guy.
I would literally make it like there would be like some sort of roll for it, and I would think that on a very bad roll, so maybe I make the party roll a D100 just to see how it happens, but I would make it later on so they don't realize what they're rolling for, and I would have like, if it's like 25 or less, in the end the mayor dies becoming the next Wendigo, if it was 75 or above, the mayor is successful, and the 50% in the middle would be like both survive, but the Wendigo like escapes.
Yeah, I'd probably have it be like 50% that the mayor succeeds and essentially sacrifices this evil guy and saves the Turtle King essentially and turns him back into who he was. So that if the party leaves, they can come back. I would have like a 25% chance of the mayor failing and becoming the next Wendigo, would I want it to be he becomes the next Wendigo or he just dies?
Yeah, I mean, he could also just be killed. You can make it 15%. 10% he becomes the next Wendigo. 15% he dies.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever. Yeah, 15% he becomes the next Wendigo. I just would never. I wouldn't get rid of the Turtle King. I don't think. I don't think I'd ever have the mayor just like fail, but killed the Turtle King and got rid of the spirit.
Yeah.
Because
so that in the end, if they, it makes
that.
sense. That's good party wise, making sure he's still alive.
But I think it would be interesting if the mayor failed and he became the next Wendigo, and then the party figured out later that the Turtle King he turned into one of these Wendigos, and his spirit has been haunting the world ever since, like some sort of ancient text or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they'd have to go and kill the mayor. They'd have to go and try and either kill the mayor or something like that.
Yeah. Well, this has been interesting. This is an interesting creation we've made.
Holy cow.
We called it a Wendigo an awful lot, but we never really made a name for it.
Yeah. I mean, we're just going to call it
Wendy's.
I don't know. Wendy's.
Definitely not a copyrighted name. Wendy's.
No. Yep. Nope. I don't know what to call it. I guess we just stick to tradition and not name it.
Yep. I guess so.
Well, bummer. Okay.
But this is good. I like what this is. This has been a fun episode to make.
It's honestly so horrifying. Where's our brains, man? Where the
somebody hire us to write some sort of like horror. We're great at coming up with this stuff. This is great.
Yeah, we should just some sort of grim, dark, gruesome horror. That's pretty much what we do.
Pretty much. Well,
I mean, that's D&D in a nutshell, though, right?
I mean, our D&D. I mean, I know there are many people who don't do it that way.
Yeah. I just know most people that I know anyways like to do hero stuff, Like, rid the world of bad. And so to rid the world of bad, you must have bad.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode 30 of Dungeoneered.
Nailed it.
If you listen to if you listen to our podcast on any app or website that has reviews, please write a review, let people know what you think, and it really helps us.
That always helps a lot.
Yeah, it always helps us get more people in. But thank you for listening, and always remember, be the sharpest barrel in the bunch.
Okay, now I have to wait for you to say bye.
See you next time.
Oh, it's not bye, it's see you next time. Bye?
Bye. It's always been see you next time. What are you talking about?
You're right. It has. Bye?